Well, guys, thanks a lot. Today is June 1st, 2015, and I am actually doing my drive-by on US 41 going southbound. Actually, I'm on a Hero GoPro Silver 4, Hero 4, and I have it set to narrow at 1080 by 60 frames a second. I wanted to bring up a few things. This is actually going to be on my 1911s. I have a bunch of videos up on 1911s. And Wilson Combat, Ed Brown, Nighthawk Custom. What I wanted to do is say a definitive, in my opinion, which is the better of the three. Since I've owned all three of them, I've got what modifications you can do to them. I've shot them, taken them apart, compared them to the other models, each other. I would have to say, when I'm rating these guns, just for sheer features and sheer nice in my hand, is what I would have to rate the Nighthawk Custom T3 with the ported barrel as number one. That has an officer frame. The Ed Brown Cobra Carry as 2, and the Wilson Combat Super Grade as 3. And that's just in my hand. I'm not talking about performance or anything. Just in my hand, shooting the gun, how it feels. Okay. Now, if we get into performance issues as far as which one's more accurate, which has a better trigger, I would have to say it this way. Taking all three guns apart and looking internally, the Nighthawk Custom has a lot of different modifications internally, including a ramp below the breech face that helps the smoothness of the gun. Accuracy, I won't even go into accuracy yet. We'll talk that in a minute. But the Nighthawk Custom, Nighthawk Custom is hands down for those features internally, and they are the only company that has the ramped breech face. And I have a video on it. Ramp breech face is under where the firing pin comes out of the face of the slide. Well, underneath there, that part usually strips off the round. Well, they do is they put a little square notch in there, and so the disconnector can go in there. So when the slide goes forward, there's not a tap. It's just really smooth. That Nighthawk, really, when you slide that, feels like it's on ball bearings. It feels really smooth. Coupled with how nice in my hand, and then you couple this T3 as a compensated one, which makes it more accurate and less muzzle flip, the winner has to be the Nighthawk Custom. Hands down. That's a very good gun. So then, the Nighthawk Custom is in, a league of its own. So I would never even compare it to a Wilson Combat or an Ed Brown, because it doesn't give you justice. So now when you're comparing the Ed Brown and the Wilson Combat, the way it looks, aesthetically, it's the Ed Brown. It's just aesthetically, the Ed Brown has just, it just looks better because it has a beaver tail. The Wilson Combat is not a very good looking gun. They have a blended magwell, but they do not make a bobtail for that gun. Okay, because the blended, and you can't get it modified because the blended magwell is actually the way it's done. It takes off part of the frame, and it makes it incapable of bobtailing that particular Wilson Combat. So, aesthetically, the Ed Brown. Functionality, how it fires. I fired them both. Feature-wise, you can get a lot more features on them, cursive writing and stuff like that, and it's got a lot of beveled angles and cuts and stuff like that. That Colby, it looks kind of nice. It's got a lot of custom stuff done to it. But as far as firing, I think they're pretty much fire the same. Now, of course, with the professional, you get an 8-round, whereas you get a 7-round capacity with the Ed Brown and the Nighthawk Custom. But that just depends if you're going to weigh that on the gun that you're using. You really that much concerned about get that little shadow away. You're that much concerned about that. But I would have to say Nighthawk Custom 1 and Wilson Combat and Ed Brown are pretty close to each other, because that bobtail for appearance gives it a lot. But I would say the Wilson Combat probably has a better, cleaner, crisper trigger, and it is a little smoother. But it's not as smooth as the Nighthawk because they don't have that ramped breech face where the disconnector can slide underneath there and not get that initial hit. So that's my opinion, and thanks for tuning into my drive-by. And I'm on the 41 going south, just coming through Venice, heading to Fort Myers. So what would I buy again? Probably, if it wasn't the ported T3 like I have, I would probably get the Talon 2 with the bobtail and stainless steel, and I would probably do some of the factory stuff like recessed slide release and crown and bevel the, and maybe a one-piece guide rod. And if you could rib the top of the slide, if it didn't already come with that, I'd rib it. So ambidextrous slide safeties. So that's what I would probably do. And I think that gun probably would be in the $3,800 range once you did all those features. I like the Talon 2 the way it looks. It's a nice looking gun. But that was probably what I would do. I'd probably go with a stainless steel Talon 2. And if I found a stainless steel Talon 2, I would probably buy that, because now knowing all the features that it has in that gun, and there's quite a few. They pack a lot of features into their Nighthawks. You're getting a good value gun. Ed Brown is okay for what you pay, you know what I mean? And that's a good looking gun too. It's just a lower end, I would say, a lower end custom 1911. And then you got Nighthawk and Wilson Combat are right about the same, but definitely feature-wise, Nighthawk has a little bit more internally standard features. Wilson Combat has a lot too. If you get their super grade, it's all dialed up. But Wilson Combat, you pay for what you get, and you might spend, $6,500, $7,000 for a gun. And I don't know for a super grade if it's really worth that much when you could get probably the same features in the Nighthawk Custom. Those are my opinions. Tell me what you think. Have a great day, and thanks for tuning in.